Welcome to the call. So good to see everybody popping in from all over the world. And all these familiar faces and new faces. So good to see everybody on a Sunday. I believe it's still Sunday in most parts of the world. Might be getting some early morning Mondays. Maybe, not quite yet. And just so happy to see everyone. I had a great opportunity this morning to spend some time on a call with Dr. Giovanni, as well as my father. And there's something special about hearing your father, who turned 78 in 2 weeks, say that he wants to live another 15 or 20 years. And I certainly hope to keep him around for that long as well. And Clint is just finishing up a few technical things, and then he'll be hosting the call. And it's thank you, Savan, for the wishes. And yeah, this has been a fun week. I think some of you saw me throwing pancakes around and in the kitchen, and how that went. And not only do you want the recipe, but also the lessons on how to flip a pancake without it landing on the floor or the ceiling.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Michael. I think we're live now on Face. I think we're live. So I want to welcome everyone, this global family. Oh, so fun. We have such a treat in store today. Really excited about what we're about to experience, what we're about to share. I'm sure that you came, fully with your heart and with your mind and with your spirit. Actually, just because we haven't done this in a while, in the chat, just chat right now. Just type where is it you're joining from, where in the world you're joining from. I like Vanda. Oh, Vanda, you're on the call. Namaste. Ronnie's asking you, Mike, how often are you having mung bean soup now?
I still have it every day. One of the hazards of going 30 days with mung beans is that you actually learn to love it if you don't from day one. And some people say, what are you going to do after the mung bean detox? I don't know if it ends. It's so good and so good for you. It's so I have it at least 2-3 meals a day still.
It's so cool. All right, Savan says she's from Northampton, UK. We got Chris Bishop. Namaste, everyone. Feel honored to be with you, Chris. Roni from Calistoga, California. Rochelle, Iowa. Garleon from Hong Kong. Naranjan, Houston. Linda, Phoenix. Arif, London. Carol, Taylor, Texas. Wanda, so good you're here on the call again from Puerto Rico. Suzanne, Southern Indiana. Marguerite, Philadelphia. Sridhar, Bangalore, India. Jim from Temecula, California. My heart goes out to all the people that are in anywhere, Oregon, California, where there's all the fires. So many things happening on planet right now. And it's interesting to look at it, the human body in terms of pulse and where's the imbalance. Maybe we'll have a chance to talk about what's happening on planet Earth in terms of imbalances, and maybe what we can do in a collective miracle experiment game, to reset some of that. I'm really curious about what we can do. Therese from Colorado, Alexandra from Virginia, Aparna from Cincinnati. Good to have you. Monica, yeah, from Florida, Miami, Cassandra, Penang, Malaysia, Anne joining from Pennsylvania, Sandra, Wisconsin, Claudia, Switzerland, Cornelia from Paradise Island, the Bahamas. Does it just sound awesome? You just want to go to Paradise Island. It's a good, they had a good PR person titling their island. Antonius, Malta. Christina, also Malta. Yay. Teresa, yay, you're on this call. London. Michael from Smoky Oakland. Oh. Nia, yay, you're joined from Mexico. Arlene, Long Island, New York. Janana, Wisconsin. Grateful from Wisconsin. Kathy, Montreal with love. Alice, South Texas. Carol, Monterey County. Rajini, Mumbai. Nita, Pakistan. Michael from Gatineau. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure I'm going to pronounce this right. Gatineau, Quebec. Elmer, Gatineau, Quebec. I'm going to have to work on that. Can you unmute yourself? I want to know how to pronounce that proper. Mikhail? I want to be like
It's Elmer Gatineau in the province of Quebec in Canada.
Elmer Gatineau.
Gatineau, yes.
Gatineau. Kind of, you don't pronounce the I so much after the T.
More or less, yeah.
Yes. Okay, thank you for that. So glad you're joining. How did you hear about the call?
Through the PIC group and Cora.
Oh, cool. Welcome. So good you're here. So good you're here. I'm excited to hear what your experience is for sure. We got Judy from DC, Navona from Savannah, Georgia, Sarabjit from California, Nusrat from Switzerland. Hello, everyone. Kailani, India, Vonda, Toronto, Claudia, Lennox, Massachusetts, Barbara from Holland, the big heart, Krishav from Wichita, Kansas, Linda, this is so true. Chris, UK, Kent, England, Jana, Atlanta, Georgia, and your sister's on the call. What, Jana? Can you unmute yourself and your sister? I don't know. What's your sister's name?
Yes, Nirvana from Savannah. She's on the call with us today. I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's so fun. What's her name?
Hello.
Nirvana, there she is.
Nirvana.
Hi.
Hey. I don't see you. Maybe can you speak a little bit more, Nirvana? How are you doing?
I'm doing much better than the last time I talked to you. I feel like I'm alive now instead of half dead.
Well, that's a plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, living is always a good thing.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
She's
Oh,
going
go
to
ahead.
be ordering the vitamins, and she's watched me eat the mung bean soup, and she's tried the energy drink, and she just finished the book last week. So,
Wow.
or yesterday, or how long ago was it?
Just last week, a few
Last
days ago.
Yeah, she said she loved it.
Mhm.
So awesome.
What was your reaction when you finished the book, Nirvana, as you got to the end?
Oh, I loved it. I want to reread it though, because I know I missed or can't remember a lot of it, but it's amazing. And I want to learn all the little tools that you've put in. I'm going to make me a little worksheet so that I can remember to do them every day.
Cool. Well, I'm so glad you're on this call because we're going to be talking about learning and how to go deeper and how to start applying it, especially to ourselves and those we love. And for some people that want to go on to be a practitioner, I actually think on this call, many of you are going to learn some secrets, maybe one secret that's going to change your life. And many of you, because of the space that's created here, you'll just get an insight. Some inspiration will come to you. Maybe it's not even something I say or anyone else says, but you'll just get an insight particularly designed for your life that comes from love. You know, the beginning of the book says, I didn't come to teach you, I came to love you, and love will teach you. So my invitation is make love your teacher on today's call. And listen, if you loved yourself even 10% more, 50% more, 100% more, if you love yourself 10 times more, how would it change what you do, what thoughts you put in your mind, what food you put in your mouth, what emotions you dwell on? And I'm so excited because today is a space in which, we just get enveloped in this love, you know, like I don't know, Nirvana, if you know this, but Jane is kind of like a celebrity around here. She is like, we love her so much, and she just poured so much love into us. And so we just, every time we see her, we just feel good.
Yep, I've been watching her. She was here taking care of me for a while after the surgery, so I was aware of what was going on. She would report to me on the calls and stuff. So yeah, she's amazing. I'm real proud of her. She's a great sister.
And I love that you're on the call because this is really a family affair in a lot of ways. We're talking about contagious healing. So in the world today, and I just want to acknowledge everyone else who put where you're from, Nathaniel from Phoenix, Monty, you're back in Iran, super. I'm so glad you're on this call. Dick from Missouri, and everyone else, there's 72 more messages, people just sharing their love and expressing, the joy of coming from all different places. And really, this is a global gathering. And what's happening on the globe right now? A lot of a lot of pattern interrupts, I would say. Lots of transition. I mean, Nirvana, you're a great example because you went through your own surgery. It's almost like the planet's going through some kind of a surgery. You know, there's kind of yucky stuff that's flushing up. You know, whenever anyone turns on the news, there's no shortage of shock and awe. You know, and just when I thought it couldn't get any weirder, all of a sudden it does. You know, is anyone feeling that way right now? Oh, you know, and then you go out in the grocery store or the streets or the airport and everyone's wearing masks, you know, everyone's like separated from each other and you have to stay distant and you're never knowing who's going to hurt you. So all this motivation that's basically coming from fear, you know, as I was traveling after my month of silence, I'm going to talk a little bit on this call about one story in particular. After my month of silence and just feeling like all the fear disappear in so many ways that controlled my life. And then just getting to this place of like innocence and like feeling so much love, realizing that so many of my thoughts in that spaciousness of silence, of just stillness, like you have time to think about where are your thoughts coming from? You know, most of the day I'm just in my thoughts. Most of my life I've just been in my thoughts. I thought I was my thoughts. I needed to meet Dick Dalton earlier and read his book, I Am Not My Thoughts, you know, but I thought that was me. You know, but when you get to the stillness, and Dr. Ram talks about this, he was the first one, told me in my mind, he says, I couldn't understand the secrets. After the miraculous thing that happened from my father, that you read about, Nirvana, going from 12 medications to 1, that I talked about in the TEDx talk and many people read it. I said, I want to help you. I want to help you help more people. And he looked at me and laughed. He's like, no, I need help, but not from you. I mean, to be in the presence of a master healer who's usually so gentle, loving, encouraging, and have him kind of push back or reject you in that way, it surprised me. You know, I was like, why? He's like, I need help, but your mind is way too crowded, way too crowded. Even if I told you the secrets that I'm using, you wouldn't get it. You just try and figure out with your head, but you won't understand it with your heart. You know, and later on, and I'm going to talk about it on this call, he said, a true healer, it's not just about knowing, it's not just about doing, but it's about being. And we have an exciting announcement and opportunity that we'll talk about on this call, where anyone who wants just to help themselves, those they love, or sometimes there's doctors or practitioners that want to go on and implement some of these with their patients or even set up their own, you know, situation where they're helping people. How do you know these secrets? Be able to do them, but more important, be able to be that person, you know, that has that environment that's naturally healing when people walk into it. I think, Nirvana, your sister Jana is one of those people, and so many of the people on this call, the mentors are like that. We're going to talk more about that opportunity. It's so exciting. We're getting so many messages. I just want to read them. Chris says, yeah, the grid of love. And then people are talking about this world that we're living. So in this silence, I started to see behind my thoughts, motivating a lot of them, oftentimes was actually this for me. It was wanting to avoid feeling guilty. I was like, whoa, that's sponsoring most of such a huge portion of my thoughts. I want to not feel guilty, so I'm doing stuff, you know, doing stuff to avoid feeling guilty. And then also some of the sponsoring thoughts was wanting to be accepted or seen or loved or something like that, you know. But then there's a different thing. When you're doing something to be loved is a very different experience from knowing you're loved and then deciding, what do I want to do? You know? So we're going to talk about that a little bit on the call today. Oh my goodness. So the world coming from so much fear, anxiety, this unknown, unseen, invisible enemy. And then there's this group, this beautiful group of people that's gathering. And so it's it's juxtaposition of what's possible. That even in the midst of the most challenging, crazy world probably we've ever seen as a result of humanity, fear and anxiety and all kinds of stuff. At the same time, instead of being consumers of that fear, we can be creators of a different experience. And I was just on the call yesterday with the Miracle Mentors and just loving the amount of heart and presence and connection that comes when people get together with a common purpose and want to really live life coming from love, coming from purpose. One of the main principles of the Miracle Experiment game is discovering what you want. So not focusing on what you don't want. So just in this moment, think about what percent of time do you focus on what you don't want? You're afraid of something, afraid of getting sick, afraid of losing financial something. If you're focused on what you don't want, you're having a very different experience for focusing on what you want. Well, I wasn't planning on talking about any of this right now, but I wanted to lead into what do you want most in this moment of your life, this day of your life, this precious day to experience, and what community you want to join with in creating that. And I'm just so honored to be with you on this call. I'm so grateful, even the people who are new on this call, you got a real special treat. We're going to go right now into just a short song to drop us from our head to our heart. And for me, this song, I was with Mike. Many of you saw that Facebook Live where he's talking about his brother, who just a couple months ago at the age of 52 passed away of a heart failure. And he was 52 years old, had 6 kids. It was so shocking, and then Dr. Ram says, any problem, difficulty, challenge, heartache has within it the seeds of equal or greater benefit. That's one of my favorite quotes that Dr. Ram would say. No matter what is the challenge we're facing, has within it the seeds of equal or greater benefit. So on the planet right now, what a big challenge we're facing. So what a big opportunity we're facing. Mike faced one of the most difficult challenges of his life, watching this happened with his brother and his brother's family, and the seeds of it changed his life. He got his own blood test done. Cholesterol was high, LDL was high, inflammation markers were high. He's about almost 200 pounds. And in the last 1 month, during the most crazy time on planet Earth, his life changed in a totally different trajectory. He lost almost over 30 pounds. All of his markers became better. His cholesterol decreased by almost 47%, LDL. I mean, we've heard the story, but it's so remarkable. But not only that, we're talking about contagious healing. I was with him in his house in Utah where he was calling family member after family member and getting them on this plan out of love and saying, no, it's so simple. It's so easy. Just do what I did. And it's contagious healing. His brother-in-law, who's get up out of bed and sit with discomfort for 15 minutes on the edge of his bed before he could move. His wife said he would never complain. He would never say anything about being in pain. But she says after he followed Mike's example on this Moong diet and doing the Moong detox, she says, we can't get him to stop talking about how he's free of all the pain. We can't get him to stop talking about how good that feels. No more pain in his joints and his hands and his back. He also lost almost 30 pounds. And he says he lost appetite for all the bad food, So Mike's motivation came out of this love for someone that passed, and that's still with us, I believe. My motivation in a lot of ways is because of this beautiful master healer, Dr. Naram, who's no longer with us in the body, but definitely with us in spirit. And then my sister, Denise, I don't have a picture of her, but those who read the book know that she's so much with me. So I'm going to ask you, what is your why? What's your motivation for wanting to learn this? Who is it that you love? Whether they're with us still in the body or not, who do you love? As I'm playing this song, I want you to think about that person or those people that you really love, you care about, and I would say, do you want them to live a longer life, to have a better quality of life? And also, you never know, people you may even meet tomorrow or the next day that you fall in love with, or children that may come into your life, or a partner that may come into your life, or a friend that you love dearly, so there's lots of people that you love that you haven't even met yet as well. But just hold the space of those you love and your why. For why do you want to learn these ancient secrets? Why you want to live them and be the example? And I'm going to play this beautiful song and just hold them in your heart. And we'll talk about after this song. I want to hear some of your whys. Just 1 second. All right, everyone take a deep breath together. One deep breath in. Deep breath out. And enjoy this magical song.
Dum 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 dum.
Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. 'Cause the dreams bring back all the memories of everything we've been through.
Close to the ones here today, close to the ones that we lost on the way. 'Cause the dreams bring back all the memories, and the memories bring back you.
There's a time that I remember when I did not know no pain,
When I believed in forever and everything would stay the same.
now my heart feel like December when somebody say your name.
'Cause I can't reach out to call you, but I know I will one day, yeah. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday, yeah. But everything will be alright. Go raise your voice and say,
Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. 'Cause the dreams bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Close to the ones here today, close to the ones that we lost on the way. 'Cause the dreams bring back all the memories, and the memories bring back you. Memories bring back you. There's a time that I remember, and I never felt so lost.
when I felt that all the hatred was too powerful to stop. Now my heart feel like an ember, and it's lighting up the dark.
I'll carry these torches for you.
But you know I'll never drop. Yeah. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday, hey, hey. But everything will be alright. Go and raise your voice and say, hey.
Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. 'Cause the dreams back all the memories of everything we've been through.
Close to the ones here today, close to the ones that we lost on the way. 'Cause the dreams bring back all the memories, and the memories bring back you.
Memories bring back you. Memories bring back you. Memories bring back you. Here's to the ones. Memories bring back you. Here's to the ones. Memories bring back you. Memories bring back you.
All right, I just want us to go in this space of that beautiful one voice children's choir that sang us that amazing Maroon 5 song, and thinking about those you love and your why. You know, we're going to talk on this call about a unique opportunity to learn something that many people on the planet have never ever had a chance to learn before. And I just want you to start. We're going to actually have 1 minute of silence where you just drop into what is your why. And at the end of the minute, as soon as you're ready, as soon as you know what is your why you really want to learn this, I want you to go in the chat and just put what is your why. Could be who is your why. We're just going to have, I'm just timing it right now. I have 1 minute to just silence, reflecting on those that we love and what is our why. And just go ahead and we'll start that silence now. And as you come out of the silence and just in the chat, just go ahead and type, what is your why? Just gonna read some of them as you're typing. Nishrat says, Dr. Ram inspired me when he treated my mom. It's been my dream since then to help people and cure their deep-rooted health issues and not their symptoms. Thanks to your book, Dr. Clinton Online Ayurveda course, I'm able to help people. That's something so fulfilling. Jana, my why is my grandmother lived to be 93. My grandma lived to be 91. I'm sure I'm gonna live a long life. I love my family enough to take control of my health and vitality so I can serve and support them in my lives, in their lives, even in my later years. Chris, because God asked me. Beautiful. Shradar, healing as the path to spiritual progress. Yeah, that's a beautiful. Mike McKell, to live happy. Becky, self, and hubby too. Meg, my sister Nancy, who passed away in 2018 at the age of 63 from uterine cancer. Kathy, why to spread more love universally. Nathaniel, to help my wife. Siobhan, my why is to aid myself and others through the act of compassion and love, enabling those who come into my life to feel welcome and appreciated. Dharmendra, my dad passed away in 2018 due to dementia and hemorrhage. Chris, I want to heal and for my life to have and made a difference to the evolution of man and womankind. Alexandra, to heal the world. Nirvana, my path on this earth is to help heal others. Annie, to give freely away what has been freely given to me. Oh, beautiful. Dr. Hemon, are you on this call? Let's see if Dr. Hemon is on this call.
Yes.
Beautiful. Dr. Hemon is one of the actually directors and coordinators of many of the physicians, the Vaidyas, the healers at Ayush Shakti. And he's one of the ones, actually I have several people that are working with me to help create something that's super powerful and useful for you. But Dr. Hemon, what was your why? Why did you learn this ancient science, Ayurveda, and this deep healing secrets?
For me, it was like a curiosity. Like first when I started my Ayurveda in the year of like 1990, it was like,
are you able to turn your video on, Dr. Hemon? I don't know if you're in a place where you can turn your video on or not. If not, no problem. But just there we go. Now we get to see your beautiful self. Yeah. Oh, it came on and went off.
Yes. Yes. Hi, everyone. Hello.
So you're saying you were really curious, and what made you curious?
Yeah, it was like in the year of 1990. There was everywhere only like a normal Western science, like a normal school medicine was happening, and then I was like seeing and thinking about something like to work with the natural science. How can we help like with the working on the symptoms? And with that curiosity, I entered and I joined the Ayurveda. And then in the 1992, first time when I heard Dr. Naram in like a workshop in my university when I was studying at the university. And then I decided, oh, this is the right path. And then I decided, like after completion, I will join in. I will then actually I learned a lot from him compared to what I learned from university.
Really? Tell me about that. So you went all the way to university and then you started learning from Dr. Naram. What did you learn in addition? Like what, how did that?
In university, everything was like from the books and scriptures, and the books were written in 5,000 years before. But here, with Dr. Naram, like Dr. Conte Naram, Dr. Smith, the science developed and converted and turned around the whole philosophy in today's time, how to apply, how it is useful, the Ayurveda in today's time. Because people are different, people have different lifestyle, food habit, different stress. And in that, how can we modify Ayurveda? Otherwise, Ayurveda, ancient science, but still in a modern way to present it, like in a practical way. It's a really nice approach. And that impressed me and influenced me to work here. I'm here for more than 20 years, associated with Ayush Shakti, Dr. Naram's group. Enjoying, really, I'm very happy when I see the people who are coming with the pain of different illness, sorrows, difficulties, maybe physical, maybe mental, maybe emotional. And when they follow natural, ancient science, Ayurveda science, the philosophy of changing the life, and then we see them happy, we see smile on their face, and that makes joy. Really, that make me worthwhile. Not only doing Ayurveda, but living. It's really nice.
Beautiful. Your sound is a little bit comes in and out, so I'm just going to repeat what I understood you said. He talks about what it feels like when someone comes in pain to see him, and then using this science, able to help people come out of their pain, come out of their problem, and live a totally different life as a result. And he has more than 20 years of experience, and that's one of the things that I love about this educational. I would say it's not an educational. Oh, my mom has turned on all the alarms because we're talking about something so exciting. I'm traveling today, and so she's making something so delicious for me as I travel, so I don't have to eat plain food, and sometimes that turns on the smoke alarm. So one thing I want to say that this alarm emphasizes, which you should pay attention to very closely, is that this isn't an educational opportunity. This is a transformational opportunity. Why? Because you're learning not from people that have learned the theory. It's not from theoricians. It's not from people who read books and just understand the concepts. It's not people that are coming from knowing. But here you have people that will be sharing with you practical things that are practitioners that have used it over and over and over again. Dr. Giovanni is going to teach some of the sections. Dr. Smita is going to teach some of the sections. Others of Dr. Naram's students, Dr. Suyogi from Germany, Dr. Heman. And we have people that have so much confidence because they see it work over and over and over again. And with Dr. Heman, we're actually building out some of the foundational structure of the knowing part. So, what are the 3 doshas? What are the 3 dhatus? Some of the concepts that I didn't even put in the book because I didn't want people to be confused or complicated. But it's important if you're going to be helping yourself and helping others to know what are some of these basics of Ayurveda. And then what did Dr. Naram know, the Siddha Veda went steps beyond about not only doing it, but being it. So I'm loving, actually, I don't know, I'm loving some of the other whys. I just want to hear from 2 or 3 people. Suzanne Holschuh, are you able to unmute yourself and share your why? I just read through all of them and I'm just so touched and moved and inspired by you. But I just want Suzanne, are you able to unmute yourself?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Well, okay. Well, my why is, my heart is really wide open and expanded. I wrote a little paragraph because I couldn't write more. But when I was growing up, I wanted to be a doctor. And I remember sitting in class, and there was nothing to do with healing. So I had to set aside my dream of becoming a doctor because it made no sense to me at all. And fast forward to this year, reading Dr. Naram's book just opened my heart. And it just spoke to me because it's medicine that truly heals and that allows people to participate in the healing process for themselves. And it's so empowering. And that's my life's purpose. So thank you.
Oh, Suzanne, so much with you. And you know, it's so interesting. You knowingly or unknowingly, you identified a secret, a hidden secret that people can see and they don't even know. Actually, I woke up this morning and I saw a review for my book. I never met the person who reviewed it. It's a PhD, and they wrote this review on their news website. And I was kind of nervous because sometimes people have actually given, you know, negative reviews because they say, you know, the book doesn't have as many home remedies as I wanted. It doesn't show as many Marma points as I wanted. You can find all the stuff on YouTube, you know, or something like that. But the person who actually wrote this review was actually picked up what you picked on, Suzanne, which is one of the secrets to healing and one of the secrets to being a healer isn't what you know. And the reviewer said, you know, the book is beautiful because it bridges the West and the East in a way, but the best part is it gives you an insight into the humanity of the healer, you know, his empathy and how he connects with people, you know, how he connects with himself. And I'm not using the words that this reviewer used, I'll post it, but it was so beautiful. But really one of the secrets and why the book was written that way is because, no, it's not just about knowing home remedies. It's about who are you as a person when you're applying them, you know, especially if someone comes into your life and wants to be healed. What is your being like? And so Suzanne says, you know, when going to medical school and there's nothing, or going to medical classes and there was nothing about healing in those, but then reading the book and it opening your heart, you got a secret right there. That's one of the most powerful things. And it's so elusive, but so important. So important is who are you in that space in which someone's coming to you with their pain. I'm so glad you brought that up. Wow, so powerful. Thank you for sharing your heart. Many people are saying, Jane is saying so much love to you, Suzanne. Beautiful sharing your heart. Linda, thank you, Suzanne. Love you. Aparna, love you. Rajini, so thankful for your sharing. So all of you who've shared, I just read through all your beautiful comments. Now, for Dr. Hemon, for myself, and for those others organizing, I want you to put in the chat, what do you want to learn? What do you want to learn? Like, what is your burning desire to learn? If you know, Dr. always says, what do you want? And I'm asking you that right now. Don't put a limitation on it. Don't put a judgment on it. Don't say it's possible, not possible. But in your heart of hearts, that burning desire, if you could learn anything, what would it be? What would just make you so excited that you're joining a class or a course or a transformational experience in which you're learning this thing? So Sarah says the true transformational healing, long-term. Manisha, calmness. Annie, to love unconditionally. Jitendra, to learn all the marmas. We got Linda, to learn how to read Pulse. Kathy, how to read Pulse. Sivan, learn marma points, home remedies, and ability to transform with compassion. Rochelle, I want to learn how to love in a deeper, more empowering way for my clients. Wow. You're just having that desire makes me want to be one of your clients. Carol, I want to learn to release fears, so I'm living love at all times. Becky, to be a healer inside and out. Michael, to be able to stay in a space of love a lot. Baziwe, to learn how to change people's perspective about healing thyself. Wow, you guys are impressing me so much. Really inspiring me. How do you know that concept? This is really powerful. I could spend 3 hours sharing story after story after story about how Dr. Ram changed my whole brain about how important this thing is that Fezziway has shared. Suzanne, everything in love. Chris Bishop, how to receive and transmit energy. Sarabjit, how to heal on all levels. And when I come upon someone suffering, how can I offer them love? Hollister, to love and heal myself in order to love and heal others. Pam, to open up and give more in all areas of my life. Renara, I want to learn deep, true spiritual and physical healing. Stefano, learning the Marma points. This is so helpful, actually. I'm so glad. I'm going to copy this chat and I'm going to study it. As we're putting together the last stages of this beautiful training transformation program, I'm going to study what you're writing. And so in line with that, I want to ask you a couple other questions. I'd say there's two categories of people. There's some people, and let's say category, and I want to know, what are you as you're on this call? One category of people is, I don't really want to be a practitioner. I don't want to be a clinic partner. I don't have a practice. I'm not a doctor, and I don't want to have like it where patients are coming to see me, but I really want to learn this for myself and for those that I love, and for anyone that comes into my life. I want to have these cool things that I know that I can help them with their headache, or with their blood pressure, or with, emotional challenge, or whatever it is. So that's category one. And then category two is either you're already a clinician, like a physician or a healthcare practitioner, and you want to integrate it into your practice. Actually, let's have three categories. So one is you want to know it for yourself. Two is you're a physician or an existing healthcare practitioner, and you want to integrate it into your practice. You want to help people deeper. And then the third is, I'm not a practitioner, but I want to become one. I want to become a clinic partner. I want to become a healer. I want to do something like Dr. Hemon, like Dr. Giovanni, like Dr. Suyogi, like Dr. Naram. So which category are you? Are you number one? You want to learn it for yourself? Number two, you're a doctor. You want to integrate it, or a healthcare practitioner, or you want to integrate it in your practice? Or three, you're not yet, but you really want to get there. You want to become that. Beautiful. Oh,
It's really motivating.
Yeah, it's really helpful, huh?
Really motivating.
Yeah, because one of the cool things we haven't shared.
Yes, everyone is very enthusiastic.
Yeah. Dr. Hemon, what's your reaction as you're reading their whys and what they want to learn?
Yeah, it's all like very motivating for the teachers and sharing knowledge. It's really, when people are enthusiastic, it motivates and to do something more and more. Like sometimes it is like we also need some motivation from the people when we talk to. Like there are a lot of requirement and demand and expectation, and then we also be very always with a lot of knowledge, with a lot of stuff to supply. It's a really nice thing, very impressive.
Yeah,
Everyone is really great.
For me, I just know how Dr. Naram's dream was
Yeah,
for this ancient healing science to go into every heart and every home, and he knew he couldn't
Exactly.
do it on his own. And so somehow I feel like he's inspiring us. The book is one of the ways in which it can spread, and then you learning it and sharing it with those that you love and those that come into your life is another way. So thank you everyone who put that in there. That's really, really helpful. Today I wanted mainly to capture this information. There's some things actually, and then I actually asked this question too, because the third option, I'm just going to ask this for those who put number 3 as a possibility. You actually, or number two or number 3, those who want to be practitioners, there's something that we're creating as well, or that Dr. Hemon and his whole team is creating, where you can actually become clinic partners of Ayush Shakti. So where you start out kind of in an administrative role in a way, you collect patients, and then a doctor from Ayush Shakti comes either on Zoom nowadays, or in the past, in the future, they come physically to your location if you have more than 30 people, and you sit with them as they take pulses, and you start to learn through practice. And then even you can earn money off of the herbs that are sold. You benefit in a way that's financial, and you're learning, and so first of all, let's say you're in anywhere, Malaysia or Hong Kong, or Texas or Philadelphia. You can organize a group of people, 30, 40 people on Zoom, and just one by one, you see them, you take their pulse, we'll teach you how, and then in coordination with like Dr. Hemon or another doctor, you become a partner. So there's two options here. I mean, let's say A is this option. A is the option where you actually say, you know, I want to learn through doing. I want to learn through practicing. And also at the same time, I can benefit financially from it. You know, that's one option. And then the second is, you know, I'm not interested in being a clinic partner with Ayush Shakti, but I want to integrate it into either what I learned, those secrets, into my own life, or I want to just go out on my own and do my own thing, which is also totally acceptable. You know, the training allows at the end of it for either of these options. So first option A, you're actually curious. You'd like to learn more about what would it mean to become a clinic partner at the end of the training, at the end of the level 1 training. Level 1 is more theoretical and it's about who you are. And then level 2 is practice by doing at the same time. And then B is, no, I don't want to be a Ayush Shakti partner. I don't want to be associated in that way, but I just want to learn it so I can apply it in my own way, in my own practice or in whatever. So just for anyone who put number 2 or 3, I'm just curious. So Arati, how does Pulse work on Zoom? So people would come, you would take their pulse, and then you talk to Dr. Heman or whoever's training you about what you saw in the pulse. They would ask additional questions, and then together you would come up with the situation for them. That's one of the ways. The other way is in cases where you can't take a pulse, like Dr. Heman's already helped many people with coronavirus. You can't go in and touch them. They're quarantined. But still you can do so much with these ancient secrets to help people, even if you're not taking their pulse. Okay, beautiful. So this is really helpful, huh, Dr. Heman?
Yes, it's very helpful. And we have a system that people can learn how to read the pulse. We have developed such a software, all wonderful software.
Yeah.
With the practice, they will learn. Everyone can learn this.
Yeah, it's
And
beautiful.
tell that it is like this.
You actually learn the pulse, but then you have a software that tells you what to do for all kinds of different conditions. You just look at it. Someone has UTI and they're pregnant or whatever. You know, you understand the nuances, and then you understand, oh, there's not just a headache. There's different kinds of headaches. What questions do you ask to tease through to find out what is the remedy for this person at this point in time? Okay, beautiful. Many people are excited about this. Really encouraging, Dr. Heman, huh?
Yes, really, very exciting.
Anyone, because today is a really unique call because it's shorter than normal. Sometimes we often accidentally, just out of the love, we don't want to leave. Michael, I may ask you to stay on a little bit longer than me so people can break out into breakout groups. But this is the main information I wanted to know is what do you want to learn? And also who's interested in which part of the learning? So that way, Dr. Heman, me, Dr. Giovanni, Krishna, Dr. Smita, those who are organizing and creating this whole thing, we can customize it to you and what's in your heart. We got what I wanted more than I ever expected, and I'm so happy for it. Now I want to hear from anyone who has a burning desire to speak. What would make you most excited about joining this kind of a transformational learning experience about how to be on the path of becoming a healer in Ayurveda, Siddha Veda? Anyone have a burning desire to share what they're feeling in this moment, or why they're excited about this? Like, why are you excited about this possibility?
Dr. Clint.
Yeah, please, Savan.
So I'm excited about the opportunity in the sense that obviously we're sharing the knowledge that is not only from the ancient times, but we're also sharing and receiving the knowledge and the expertise and the experience that obviously you all have felt through. And just to be able to carry it forward into future generations and to help others and ourselves to be better within ourselves. So in that respect, thank you very much for that.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Savan. I'm going to just call on some people. Richard Young, can you just share what are you most excited about learning?
I'm just excited to learn all the ancient healing methods and just to give back to humanity. I realize that it goes beyond giving. Like when Dr. Naram called me, he had this passion that just shined right through you. And that's what, and when it shines through you, you feel that love. And that's what I want to give back, is just love and transformation for this world.
Oh, beautiful. I feel that. Oh man, that's the right spirit. I'm going to ask Sarah Morel now. I know you and your beautiful mother on this call, but what is it that attracts you to this? And what are you most excited to learn?
I'm so stoked. Gosh, I see and have seen for a while visions of events that we are producing, maybe in collaboration with like Odyssey, and having this healing practice, having it locally and having like a clinic, implementing it into the program that I teach, teaching other doctors about it since I have so many in my life. So I'm just on fire excited, and I can't wait to see what unfolds.
Oh, beautiful. So beautiful. All right, I'm going to go to Natalie McDonald. I don't know if you can unmute yourself, but I'm just curious, what attracts you to this? Oh, I love that. I love Sarah. You got that beautiful baby. Oh, all right, Natalie.
I'll say it's just amazing to be able to help other people. And yeah, the spirit of Dr. Naram, you can help anyone with anything. Yeah, I just really love that.
Yeah. You know, as you're speaking, I need to leave this call pretty soon because I'm literally heading to the airport. But just two nights ago, my mom started to get a cold, like sore throat, you know, sniffy nose. And in this world, you're like, wait a minute, are those symptoms of whatever? You know what I mean? Then your mind goes in a whole journey sometimes. And I just made a tea for her and for me. That's actually the remedy in the end of this book for how to boost your immunity. You know, you just take a half a teaspoon of turmeric, half a teaspoon of ginger powder, quarter teaspoon of cinnamon. I didn't have Tulsi leaves, but I put in the garlic, and then 1 teaspoon of honey, mix it with water, and it tastes good. She's like, oh, it tastes kind of like ginger snaps. And so we made this a couple times. Next morning, she's like, yeah, it's on the edge. We take it again. And she's like, yeah, I'm not even sniffy anymore. Then yesterday morning, after looking at the computer, she got like a sunspot where you can't really see properly. And she was supposed to drive to school. And so she mentioned it once, but when she mentioned it again and again, I was like, oh, this is a real serious thing. So I knew, because I knew pitta was high, and I knew the remedy. You take a teaspoon of ghee, and you actually put a half a teaspoon of sugar with it. You mix it, and you take it. You know, and some of the home remedies I make for her, she says, this tastes like dirt. You know, but this was a great one. She's like, oh, this tastes like caramel. You know, I was like, yeah, it's fun when the remedy tastes good too. So I gave her one. It didn't help actually for a few minutes. And so I gave her another one, and it just disappeared within just a couple minutes after that. So then she could function, drive, and do everything she needed to. She's a substitute teacher at a school with kids that have multiple disabilities, and she has lots of physical, mental, emotional exertion. And she said, oh, it's so fun to have a doctor in the home. She just gave me a big hug. And so it's so beautiful when you know this, when you know what to do. It gives you that joy and that satisfaction of, I knew what to do, and it was so fun. You know, and today I'm going to do a marma for her, you know, right before I leave. So that's why I want to make sure. I love being with you, and my priority is now in this moment to help my mom before I go to the airport, because I don't know when I'll get to see her again. So I want you to think again, what do you think are the most important, let's say, conditions you want to be able to help people with, the most common ailments? And in the chat, I just want you to put, what are the things that you'd love to know how to heal, you know, or how to help someone self-heal? It's really just, Dr. Ram says, this is a secret that I actually put not in the first book, but in another book. He says the greatest secret of a master healer is that he's not healing anyone, you know, he's the midwife. He's facilitating their own self-healing. But what is it? So Therese says joint pain, high blood pressure. Connie, back pain, structural alignment, fear. Sarbjeet, pain and fear. Nilda, rheumatoid arthritis. Yeah, this is really helpful. What are the kinds of things that you want to know when someone comes to you and they're suffering, that you say, oh, I know what to do for this thing? Good food practices too. I like that. You know, some people are saying, I want to teach people how to avoid being sick. And those people are super enlightened. I love that. Yeah. Jana, lose weight, high blood pressure, heart issues, knee pain. Nita, depression, anxiety. Claudia, not remember how to treat ailments. Antonios, Electros hypersensitivity. Wow, beautiful. Helping people find the truth of what they want. And that's fun because that's in this, Richard. That's one of the things Dr. Ram did every day, and that helped them heal. That's another secret. Help people discover what they want and focus on that as part of the healing journey. So cool. Judy, insomnia, blood pressure, hernia. This is so helpful. Beautiful. And if you think of anything else, those watching this as a recording, you can still go ahead and post in the chat, you know, in the chat feature of the thing, or you can send an email to me, clint@drnaram.com. So in this next week, as we're finishing, you know, structuring the whole thing together, that you can know, I want this thing to be included, and we can figure out some way. Now there's going to be different levels. So the very first one, Dr. Ram had a 100-day training program. It was 100 days. And so you have this initiation basically process, and you discover who you are and if this is really your path or not, you know, and regardless, you benefit. You learn things that you can use for your self-healing and for others that you love. And then after that first 100 days, there would be some people that opt in to level 2, which is learning how to integrate it into your own practice, or the practice, or creating your own practice, becoming a clinic practitioner. I am going to make Mike a host. And what I want now, because this opportunity where you're with like-minded people that are coming from this space of love is a golden opportunity. So I'm encouraging you to stay on this call for a little bit longer, to meet other people from around the world and be inspired. You never know, something you say may inspire them, or something they say may inspire you. And I want someone to be the scribe. So you first get in there and someone be the one who writes down the notes, right? And I want you to ask a couple questions. Ask other people, what is your why? And what do you want to learn? What is it you want to learn or to become, you know, in this process? Those two things. What's your why? What do you want to learn or be? It's going to be a short breakout session where you only share for a few minutes each. And Mike, will you set that up where you can create this breakout session? I don't know if they've made the, Gerald, is that Gerald or Allison? I don't know if they've made this announcement yet, so I don't know if I can. Is that Allison?
It's Gerald.
Gerald, hey, I'm on my call right now and everyone loves you. Are you here?
Now Allison's in the
Did you already make
house
the
too.
announcement for everyone?
Yeah,
Okay, so this is exciting. You guys remember my brother?
What's up?
Yeah, last week he guided us through such a special experience of loving each other. And now he has a great announcement to make.
Super amazing announcement.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna make it short. I had the beautiful experience of going through divorce many years ago. And for those of you that have been through divorce, you know how painful it is, how difficult. The time I got divorced, I was convinced that I never wanted to get married again. I was like, marriage is too painful, marriage is too hard. Like I was really like, I had so many like these scars in my heart. And it was interesting because right after graduating from that last marriage, I met this beautiful woman whose name is Allison. And she came into my life in a way that like I've always dreamed of, but I've never experienced. And it was like the other half of my soul came. And so last night, Clint was a big part of this experience. We created this epic day-long date, and throughout that experience, we had this romantic breakfast, and then we went to go play at this arcade and dressed up in crazy costumes, and it all culminated in the evening. We had this beautiful place in the mountains, and Clint and some of our friends had set up this enchanting place under this big pine tree. We had like these lights all over, these candles. It was right by a stream. There was a fire. There was like catered with salmon. It was like amazing. And so I led Allison there. She had no idea what to expect. And she enters this like magical wonderland. And he's like looking around. And he's like, what's this all about?
It was really magical and amazing.
Yeah.
And, yeah, perfect.
And then I got on my knee and said, I've searched for you for a long time, and I never want to let you go. Will you be my queen? Will you marry me?
And I said yes.
Yay! She said yes.
Actually, I said yes before he was even done talking. I think.
She's like, stop talking, Gerald. Stop talking.
Started kissing him.
Just kiss me.
And I was crying before Allison was. I was so happy. Thank you.
Yeah. So, anyways, thank you.
So in this space of love and thinking about, wow, so much is possible. What is your why? Why you want to learn, and what do you want to learn? What do you want to become? The more clear is the goal, the more sure are the chances, Dr. Ram said. The more clear is the goal, more sure is the chances. This is the starting point, brainstorming and leaning into love and feeling what is it you really want to do with this precious time we have called life. Not just for you, but the planet needs you to be in that space more than ever. So Mike, we're going to break into that group. Afterwards, you'll come out. There's so many messages of love. Congratulations. As we're getting ready to go to the airport, I just want to say I love you and I'm with you. And I'm excited to learn with you, along with you, and to share in this just transformational journey of knowing, doing, and being. And just so grateful for Dr. Ram and for his patience with me. So patient with me. I was not the easiest learner at all. And I feel like he's still teaching me and all of us. And I just want to express that gratitude for him. And I'm excited now for you to go into the breakout groups. About 2 minutes per person to share what's your why and what do you want to learn. Someone take notes, and then whoever's taking notes, send those to me, clint@drnaram.com, clint@drnaram.com. And I love you and I'm with you. So Mike, you want to take over?
Can we say goodbye to you,
Thank
Clint?
you.
Oh, sure, you can.
Everybody unmute themselves and say, I love you and I'm with you.
Love you, Dr. I love you. I love you. I'm with you. Mahalo.
With you.
Love you.
Love you.
Safe travels.
Love you. I love you.
Thank you.
I love you. I love you and I'm with you.
Love you. I'm with you.
I love you.
Bye.
Safe travels. Safe travels.
Love
you.
Love you.
Thank you so
Love you,
much.
Dr. Clint.
All right. So I think we.
Yeah, thank you. Enjoy being in your breakout group and meeting this. I think you're going to meet someone for a reason. Love you and I'm with you.
So thank you, Clint, and safe travels to you. And for the rest of you, before you break into breakout groups, I just want to review the instructions that Clint gave us for why do you want to learn this? What do you want to do? And to choose one person to be the scribe who is willing to send an email to Clint, and maybe someone can put his email address in the chat there, so everyone can just copy it down and add it to your add Clint to your address book, so that you have him on speed dial with your email, his email, and there it is, clint@drnaram.com. Thank you for that. So I've created the breakout rooms, and we'll have 4 to 5 people per breakout room. If there's anyone who needs to leave here at the top of the hour and doesn't want to go into the breakout room, that's okay. And so without further ado, when you get to the breakout room, don't forget to unmute yourself so that you can speak freely to the people there. So, okay, with that, I will now open the rooms, and you can click on go to your breakout room. And Katie Renara, that I'll be assigning you in just a minute as everyone breaks off to their breakout rooms. If you're still here, you might have had a challenge getting to a breakout room. if you're still here in the main room with me, perhaps you had a challenge to making the hop to a breakout room. And if so, you can unmute yourself and I can help you walk through what you need to do to get there. Aspi Mehta, welcome. Are you just joining?
Hi, good evening.
Hello. Are you coming back from the breakout or just joining?
I'm just joining actually.
Oh, welcome. Everyone's in breakout room currently. They're discussing why they would want to become a healer and to learn the practices of the ancient down. Alan, can you hear us? Ask me where are you calling from, or where are you in from?
Are you referring to me, SP?
Yes, Haspi.
Yeah, I'm calling from Delhi, India.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you for joining. Clint had to run to catch a flight, so he was on for the first hour. and then he left for the airport. And as we broke into,
I just took a chance because I noted that the web started from 8:30 p.m. and I was on something else, so I said, let me check whether it's still on. And what has been discussed so far?
quite a few things, of course. For the first hour, we talked about the how healing, similar to a virus, can be contagious. Healing too can be contagious, and as people heal themselves and know what they did, that can be shared with others, so they too can heal themselves. And so these teachings and these secrets are not locked up under patents, that they are ready and available and to be shared freely with others. And Judy, would you like to unmute? Is that what I see you doing?
Hi. Well, I was about to leave, but lovely to see your healthy, happy face. Oh my God, your story is so inspiring.
Well, thank you.
It's just tremendous. Tremendous.
My mother says I look younger, and so
you look fabulous. Beaming with health, and looks like you've got a new job. Inspiring others, big time.
That's what I was saying to Aspie. I want to spend the rest of my life. It's a bittersweet victory, if you can call it that, to have the kind of life that I had, because I know that this program, this detox, this way of life, would have saved my brother's life.
I know. It's so sad, isn't it?
It's a gift and a curse in the same time. That that through his death, he saved my life, because I guarantee you 100% I would not have been interested in doing this had his, I just happen to have it right here, his autopsy report that
oh my goodness,
the medical examiner that said that his coronary arteries were 80 to 95% blocked. And
oh my God.
He had no idea. He was a nurse by training. He ran a company for healthcare case management.
Oh my goodness.
He rode his bike to and from work.
Yeah. So he looked healthy. Very. Yeah. It's very, very heavy. Yeah.
That's one of the sad things about a heart problem. You just don't know when it's going to attack you. And that's very much, it's very much happened here as well, in Delhi.
Yeah, it's really scary. Yeah. So he had a role to play, you see. He had a role to play.
My goal is that his death will save many lives. And
yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
If there's any leverage or usefulness to use it to the full extent. I'm recently working with his son too, that just had his cholesterol tested and has some issues to work on as well. That his passing will save his son's life as well.
Yes. 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 Yeah.
So the healing can definitely be contagious, and it's not. People say that it's this diet is so restrictive and so difficult to do. Well, perhaps, but so is sawing open someone's chest, pulling their ribs apart, taking a vein out of their leg, and you sewing it into their heart to bypass their coronary arteries. That's extreme as well. If you have to choose between the extremes, I'd say maybe try some mung soup.
Yeah, really. No fooling.
Yeah.
And your pancakes. I'm waiting with bated breath for that pancake recipe. Or
there's actually a YouTube video that they shared with me from Ayush Shakti that I then wrote down the recipe, and I'll post the YouTube video.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Share it with everyone.
Were you on, sorry to interrupt, were you on Hmong the whole time, or you did have a break in some other food habits?
Well, why don't I close the breakout rooms and for those who want to stay on and I'll share with you exactly what I did and
Because just before you carry on, I also was on a Moong diet because I was attached to Dr. Naram for a year, and of course he passed away in January. But when I did start medicine with him, he had put me on a Moong diet for a couple of months, and it was difficult. It was difficult to get onto that diet and only stick to it. But I did manage. But now, in fact, I've sort of got back to having a bit of non-veg food along with that. And, you know, it's been not as strict as what it was at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, you know, there's several phases to it. There's a phase of, you know, my numbers were quite high, 265 on my cholesterol, now 136. And, you know, which my doctor was, well, before I get into it, I'll invite everyone back and I'll share
Good.
with everyone. They'll have 60 seconds here to come back. So we'll see people popping back in. And here is, and I'll just welcome back everyone. Hopefully you had enough time. And there was a few people that were here in the breakout room, in the main room, that didn't quite make it to the breakouts. That I'll be sharing with you all. Started talking a little bit about what I did exactly. I'm happy to share that with everybody if you're wanting to stay and listen. But hopefully you had enough time in your breakout rooms to discuss the two questions and had someone to take notes. And I think just about everybody is coming back now and making it back here. Where everyone's popping back in, and just wanted to say hopefully you had enough time to discuss everything, and it's always scary to push the close breakout rooms in 60 seconds button, because I've been there and seen that pop up and said, no, not yet, we need more time. And you know, so I
beautiful, Mike. Thank you. It was beautiful, Mike. Thank you. And for the people in my bakery,
sound is coming.
Yeah, I would love to have them contact me still. I'd love to hear the stories. It's wonderful.
So, well, great. And so if you want to send each other email addresses or exchange that information, that's great. There's some people that are still here in the main room that we were just talking while you were in your breakouts, and we people were interested in exactly what I did. And I thought, well, I'm happy to share with everybody what I did if you'd like to stay, but thank you for the time that you've spent in the breakouts with each other, and please be sure to send that information to Clint, and it's super helpful for him and the team for putting together an amazing training for the world, for you and the world, based on what it is that you want to do. So yeah, I'm happy to share exactly what I did with everybody, and to answer any questions you might have, and you know, encourage you to do the same. So let me just see if I'd like to share a picture with you. This is my brother.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
his name was Rick.
He looks so healthy. He looks so beautiful.
He is 52 years old. He will always be 52 years old. He'll never get older than that. He was trained as a nurse by in school as an RN. He worked in a thoracic ICU unit. And he had a company that managed as a case management company for insurance companies to help people get the best care possible in the insurance industry or in the hospital healthcare setting. And he loved to mountain bike. He was up mountain biking with his son when he passed away and had a cardiovascular event or heart attack, and he passed away instantly. There was another nurse, and it happened on May 12th, which is International Nurses Day, and he that worked on him for 45 minutes for the EMTs to show up. And the EMTs continued to work on him and connected defibrillators to him and fired it, but the defibrillator doesn't fire unless it will actually be effective. It was quite shocking, needless to say. And I then, we thought at first that he had hit his head on a rock, was the report from his son and others, because having a heart attack was not even in the realm of possibilities. And about a month later, and it just happens to be on my desk here, is the Office of Medical Examiners, his autopsy report that we received that shared that his coronary arteries were 80 to 95% blocked, which was as unbelievable as you can ever imagine. Not him, he was on the World Cup ski team growing up. He was always active, and so anyway, that was quite a wake-up call, because I realized that I was genetically related to him as a brother, that I needed to find out what's going on with me. And I scheduled a physical exam, and I went in to have that done, and had my blood drawn. And as a typical male, I like to go to the doctor once every 10 years, and that's enough. But the time I had been before was in 2018, so it had only been 2 years previous, and I thought, oh, I'm fine, but my numbers were not fine in 2018. I had been 10 years earlier, literally in 2008, and I don't even know what my numbers were then. But when I went in, and maybe I can pull this up, my medical report, but in 2018, my cholesterol was 253. And I told my doctor then, don't worry, I'm going to do lifestyle. I'm going to make some changes, and my numbers are going to go down. Well, 2 years later, when I went in June, my numbers had not gone down. They had gone up, and they had gone to 263. And let me see if I can actually, I think I have these here. I wasn't planning on doing this, so bear with me just a second here, but I can pull this slide up here and share this with you. So on June 30th, I went in to see the doctor and had my blood drawn, and my cholesterol was 263. My triglycerides were 193. My VLDL was 39. My LDL was 169. My weight on June 30th was 193 pounds. My blood pressure was not bad. It was 118/88, but 2 years earlier, it was 148/94, 140. They waited, you can see, 5 minutes and took it again as 140/88. At the end of my appointment at 2:19, they were hoping it'd still go down. It hadn't gone down. It was still 140/88, which is anything over 140/90 is considered high blood pressure and probably should have been medicated. But now my blood pressure, as you can see, this reading next to it is 113/62. I started the mung bean diet on August 3rd of this year, just over 30 days ago, about coming up on 45, 50 days ago. But I went back in on September 2nd and had them draw my blood again. and my cholesterol, as unbelievable that my brother had blocked coronary arteries, these results are to me that I don't believe these. I think they switched my sample with a teenager's sample, that my cholesterol dropped 127 points to 136. My triglycerides from 183 down to 81. My LDL, the bad cholesterol, which they compare to cheese or oatmeal in your veins, went from 169 to 72.9, 73. My doctor said, this is unbelievable. He asked me, how did you do this? I said, you're the doctor. And you're the one who should be telling me and others how to do this. There's another marker down here at the bottom, which is HSCRP. That stands for high sensitivity C-reactive protein. This is a inflammation marker that indicates how much inflammation you have throughout your system. One of the coronary artery disease is very difficult to diagnose and to predict. People can have high cholesterol, but it's near impossible, if not impossible, to predict who will have a heart attack or when. And there's many different biomarkers they look at. To me, in my studies, I just dug through all the literature I could find about what's the greatest indicator. How can you know? How could my brother known? How can I know? How can anyone know? And chronic inflammation is a huge indicator for not just heart disease, but cancer, for diabetes. That when your body becomes inflamed, and most people's bodies internally are inflamed from having dairy, meat, saturated fats, alcohol, you ingest, inflames your entire digestive system. And I was watching this miracle group and heard about the mung bean detox and thought, that sounds terrible. But who are these people that do this? And I saw these posts about the Ayush Shakti clinic, and I thought, well, maybe I'll try. And just the last word about the HSCRP, mine was 0.95 to begin with, which is borderline for moderate risk. Anything between 1 and 3 is considered moderate risk. 3 and higher is high risk. Mine was so right on the borderline. Some doctors say it should be below 0.8. Mine went from 0.95 to 0.27. My doctor called me with these results and said, just be careful driving. The only risk of death you have right now is accidents. So, that I can live with that. And probably a long time as well. And now so I booked an appointment with Ayush Shakti. Dr. Priyanka was just absolutely amazing. For $15, this is priced wrong. $15, you get a half-hour appointment with someone so caring and knowledgeable and listening to all of your problems and your conditions, that writes up a personalized prescription. I have had probably half a dozen friends and family members go through having an appointment. I have a good friend going through having an appointment tomorrow, as well as another brother-in-law, and then one more friend on Tuesday having an appointment. Book an appointment. It's not scary. It's so worth it. And they will teach you. And not everybody gets prescribed the detox diet. My father has had some conditions with his colon. They said, no, this is definitely not for you. And so she did prescribe the detox diet for me. And it's not so easy to understand exactly what to do, but you can figure it out, and they're very accessible to ask questions to. And one of the things that I didn't even know where to get mung beans. So some of the chat, thank you to all of you that said you need to go to an Indian store. Okay, so where's an Indian store? I don't shop at Indian stores, but if you go on Google Maps on your phone or your computer, put an Indian store, you'll find there's Indian stores of places that you've driven by 100 times, and they will have mung beans. And I first bought mung beans, but then I thought, well, if I'm getting mung beans, why don't I get organic mung beans? Your monthly what you're spending on food drops by about a factor of 10. You maybe spend a tenth of what your food budget was doing this detox. Just an added side benefit, and I was willing to spend whatever it would take to get healthy and to have a change. And what is your health worth to you? I can tell you what this detox would have meant to my brother. I can tell you what it means to me. I can't tell you what it means to you, but I've got a good estimate. It's worth everything you have. I can't stress that strongly enough, to just do it. But anyway, so you get all these ingredients, you're like finding what is hing, and you smell hing, you're like, oh, this is terrible. Put that in 2 Ziploc bags and then inside a Tupperware container. If you haven't had that before, my goodness, I should take you in the other room and show you my hing storage contraption. It's I'm just not used to it. So maybe some people, it's called the food of the gods or devil's dung. I mean, I don't know how those two got together, but it's appropriate on both sides, super healthy for you. I first made the mung soup raw, put it in the blender, as the detox says. So it makes it like a puree, so that what the goal, in addition to like all these other things, is to give your body a chance to deflame itself, to become uninflamed. I've heard this story that if you kick your shin on a table, your shin's going to turn red, it's going to get inflamed, and your body's going to send prostaglandins and other processes like an arachidonic acid cascade that releases healing cells to that portion of your body, and your body will heal itself. But if you kick your shin on the table every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, your shin is never going to get healed. And that's what we've done to our intestinal tracts and systems. Our digestive system is that by the way we feed it, it's so inflamed, and digestion is the number one energy consuming activity that we do. And once you give your system a chance to heal, other things can then happen. I had a blemish on my eye right here. I don't know if you can see it, that my girlfriend was saying, you need to get that checked out. You need to see a dermatologist. That could be cancerous. She lost a brother to skin cancer a few years back. Well, it's gone now. It'd been there for years, and in the last 30, 45 days, it's gone. My mother talks about how different I look. I'm her son. She hardly recognizes me. But there's lots of good things that happen. I've had people ask if I started coloring my hair because it's not as gray as it used to be. No is the answer. It just isn't as gray as it used to be. But I didn't. Some people ask, did you take a before and after picture? No, because I didn't think it was going to work. I was as skeptical as Clint was, starting off on this journey, and maybe even more so that how can this work? I needed to know. I wasn't coming from my heart. I was coming from my head. I need to know the mechanism of action. What's the half-life of mung beans? What is the elimination period? What is the Tmax before mung bean is fully efficacious in the body? That's where I was coming from, and I don't know the answers to any of that other than it works. But there are some difficulties. I just after I had got the diet going, they asked if I wanted to order the detox kit. I did not order the detox kit. The first 3 weeks I was only doing the mung bean diet, and then and the first 3 days you blend it up so it's like a puree, so it's as easy, it's like baby food. It was terrible the first 3 days to me because it was a new taste. it grows on you, or I changed, it changed. I got better at making it, whatever. But it became delicious. Then day 5, you add carrots and celery, and then it says you can have mung bean soup with veggies. And I had to. It says beetroots. It's written in British English, is spoken and taught in India. I had to look up what beetroots is. That's just beets. I had to learn what capsicum was. That's bell peppers, and some other things like this. And if you add red beets and or beetroot and bell peppers into your mung's soup, it tastes like chili. Maybe it's psychological. It's what it looked like, but it literally tastes like meat and chili, and I mean, it was delicious. And I did order the detox kit after a week, and I lost 10 pounds. I went from 185 to 175 in a week. I said, hey, if I'm doing this, I want to do it with the kit. I mean, this is I'm all in. And they said, well, we're back ordered on one of the ingredients. You'll have to wait. I was like, oh. And I waited a week, which was much shorter than the 100 days or however long Clint had to wait to be able to get what he was wanting, and Dr. Ram was wanting from his master. And so at 3 weeks, the kit came, and I did take the supplements for the last 8 days before having my blood drawn. I am going to have my blood drawn again in a month, and then have it see how my results are, if they're staying, because achieving these results is half the battle. Maintaining them is the war. And I don't want to win the battle and lose the war. I want to win the battle and win the war, and maintain these results for life. And what else? The mung bean pancakes. They're super helpful sending recipes from Ayushakti. Dr. Priyanka sent me a YouTube video with the mung bean pancakes. I'll post it in the Facebook group about how to make the mung bean pancakes. They are so easy to make, and they are so delicious. You throw some papaya slices on there. Oh, you can have those for dessert. You can have those for breakfast. I followed the program about 90 to 95%, maybe closer to 95%. All cravings go away after about 3-4 days. There's no, I just want to eat. You're not even hungry between meals. You're not feeding your brain with sweeteners or artificial sweeteners that then cause cravings to happen. I went water skiing with some family on the lake, and they broke out sandwiches at lunchtime, and I had some mung bean pancakes or something for breakfast. I wasn't hungry. They were all eating, and they're like, oh, sorry, do you want to eat? We didn't bring any of your whatever magic beans. I call it mung beans, Jack and the Beanstalk beans. The magic beans that Jack gets. I think that's what this fairy tale is written about, because they are magical. I don't know if they grow a beanstalk, but they sure grow healthy bodies and healthy people. And so I followed it quite close, but I did cheat a few times. And if you have something, even chewing gum that has a sugar-free gum, causes your brain to look for, there's supposed to be and release some insulin into your body, which then causes the cravings to then want to have something sweet, and just makes it harder for you. So just let that stuff go. Why make it harder for you when it can be so easy? And because I got the kit 3 weeks into the program, I talked to Dr. Priyanka. She said, well, you like doing what you're doing, right? And the food. I'm like, yeah, I really enjoy it. She's like, well, then why don't you just start the kit and do that for 30 days? I'm like, but I already have done it for 21. That would be like 50 days. She's like, is it going to kill you? I'm like, no. And so I will be doing this for a total of 50 days. I'm on day 18 of the 30, so I have about another 2 weeks to go. And there's still 68 people on. I think I'm happy to take some questions. There's some questions that you've typed in the chat, but if you want to raise your hand, or there's a couple ways to do that in the participant list. That you can unmute you, and then we can maybe keep it from everyone talking at once. Or let me just see if there's in the chat here. To go to the Facebook page. Wow, Claudia sent me a private message that says I look better than last time. Well, I can't wait to see you next time. You see the difference between the pic on your medical card and now. Wow. Yeah, that picture from that medical card was from 5 years ago, in 2005. So.
Mike, there are a couple of people raising their hand. I think Arlene and Barbara are raising their hand.
All right, and Arlene, if you click on the participant button, there's a way to raise your hand that way. Let me go to Zaffy here, who has her. Zaffy, are you there?
Yeah, hold on, I'm getting on the thing. Yeah, I was just wondering, to be frank with you, I don't like the taste of mung beans, and I'm wondering, somebody was mentioning in our small group that lentils are very similar. Do you know if I can substitute lentils for mung beans, or how do you make mung beans taste better?
Yeah. Well, I have a sister that is doing this, and she feels just like you. She said, I gag on those mung beans.
Sorry, my thing's done. I gotta go plug it in.
No, that's all right. And one of the things that when you set up your appointment with Ayush Shakti, they have some other recipes that you can do that doesn't include mung beans at all, or actually there's a kishari recipe that's half mung beans, half rice, or thereabouts, and some different spices. So in my opinion, a mung bean detox is amazing. There's two diets that are scientifically proven to prevent and reverse heart disease: Dean Ornish's and Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn's of Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease and Undo It. Mm-hmm. And those are whole food, plant-based diets. And and from there, the Mediterranean diet is not as good. The only diet that really matters is the diet that you actually do and follow.
I'm Greek, so I love Mediterranean, but that includes meats, but I don't eat a lot of meat. But so we eat a lot of lentils in Greece. So I just trying to think, like, what will I really do? Because I put raisins, I put cinnamon in my mung bean. I'm like, how do I make this taste palatable for me? Because I'm not used to that, so, but I'm maybe I just need to get used to it. So.
Well, I'd say do a Google search.
Somebody mentioned.
Okay. I think you'll find lots of different recipes.
Put 70% mung bean.
I can only add in.
I have my appointment.
Yeah, so best naturally to consult with Ayush Shakti if you're trying to treat something, but for just taste buds, I've mixed the mung beans with butter beans or other beans, lima beans and things like that, and it really changes the taste altogether. And so you can give that a try.
Thank you.
So much.
Great advice.
Jen, let's go to Jen here. And Jen, are you?
I'm here.
All right.
Yes. Hi. I guess I wanted to ask, is it better? I saw the Facebook Live video and I was very inspired by your energy. And ironically, I just had a physical this year, and in the last couple of years, I've become vegan. I gave up meat, and then this year I gave up dairy. Ironically, my cholesterol continues to go up. It's very strange. And so I saw your results, and I was like, I don't think I could do that. But
I don't think I can do that.
I
did though.
I know. So I'm inspired, and I'm actually going to do it. I actually made my appointment for this Wednesday. And should I wait? Should I just wait to see what they say rather than probably, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes, I think you should wait and have your appointment because there might be something else. It feels like, a lot of these home remedies are one size fits all. And I believe they're much safer than allopathic medicines. But I have an allopathic background. I was even worked with Pfizer for a couple of years. And so I'm maybe much more cautious of before you take that herbal remedy, make sure you know the side effects and see if there probably isn't any. But I think there's some herbs that are stronger than others, and that it should be still treated with the same respect. And this is just me, I was like trying to be cautious about someone asked something about some disease on the Facebook page, and I'm like, be careful, don't just start doing this. And then there's a YouTube video of Dr. Naram saying, please share this with all of your friends, tell them all to do this. I'm like, oh, who am I? Maybe you don't need to be so cautious with some of these remedies. But my advice to everyone is in this order. Number one, find out what your numbers are, get your baseline, get your blood drawn, find out, especially in the area of heart health, what your cholesterol is. In the Facebook post, I put a list of tests that you should do. There's some, like the high sensitivity CRP test is not a normal one that your doctor will ask for, but you can request it, and it's a very useful one to have. Another one is to get a coronary artery calcium test that most hospitals offer this for like $50 to $100. That gives you an imaging of your heart. But to your question about starting your appointment on Wednesday, if you've waited this long in your life, cross your fingers that you're going to be fine through Wednesday. Talk to your practitioner there. Then take some time to get ready. I took, after my physical, another 30 days, and then I didn't know what I was doing. I told my family, hey, I'm going to do this 30-day mung bean diet. They're like, oh, we're going to do it with you. I'm like, but you haven't even talked to anybody. You don't even know to Google Indian stores to find mung beans. And so, but some of them started, and Boyd alluded to, or excuse me, Clint talked about my brother-in-law that lost over 30 pounds, who's has celiac disease, and was able to have fantastic results. But they just restarted because after a false start or a unprepared start, they had to really just get everything, because it is a bit of a journey. And by the end of week 1, you've got it figured out. And so, yes, have your appointment. So get your numbers, which if you've done it in the last year, I'd say they're valid. And then have your appointment with Ayush Shakti. See what they say, especially for you. Maybe there's additional supplements that you would benefit from, and maybe there's some that you shouldn't take. And then get ready. I'll tell you this, the day 7, you really want to time it so that's on a Saturday or a Sunday that you're close to a toilet. I'll just leave it at that. So there's a vacating day, not a vacation day, that is on day 7, that start day 1 according to where day 7 lands.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Sarah. If you want to unmute yourself.
Thank you. So it might have already been addressed, but specifically, I know that other beans can cause inflammation. So I want to make sure, is there a time? So I have a couple questions. How long? Is it 7 days? Is it 30 days? Is it based on your needs that you should be doing the diet?
So the mung bean detox is 30 days, and there's other things that you eat during the detox too. You can, starting on day 11, you can have porridge or oatmeal. To me, porridge is what the Goldilocks ate, but we call it oatmeal in the U.S. And but you can have oatmeal or a fruit plate, even starting, I think, on day 5. I don't have my sheets here in front of me. They're all marked up of which days I took supplements and things like this. But there are different things, and it's a 30-day detox, and it's recommended. There's different thoughts that you should do a detox 30 days once a year. Some people say twice a year. But my plan coming off this, is to be whole foods plant-based. And that's different than vegan. And the diets that Dr. Esselstyn and Dr. Ornish talk about are different than vegan. And you can read them in their books of no oil, no fats and things.
Okay, so do you have a link to that, or is there somewhere we can find the specific 30-day diet when we know we can eat other things? That probably will.
I would say that's, there's they give some pointers from Ayush Shakti about what you're after the 30 days. That's just my plan because I really want to mix East and West, I suppose. The best of Western medicine, and both of their programs are stand on the shoulders of, well, look at me, here's another book, The China Study. T. Colin Campbell's book of doing research around the world about whole food, plant-based.
Yeah, I'm referring to actually Dr. Naram's 30-day cleanse. Is there one that exists, and can we find it somewhere? Or you do not know if that is?
It's through Ayush Shakti's clinic.
Oh, okay.
And they send it to you, and it is copywritten. There's a copyright on it. I don't. I know this is being recorded. I'll just say it anyway. I have shared it with friends and family, but I do think that everybody for $15 should have their own appointment. Everybody has different issues, and it's not a one size fits all. And like I said, with my father's condition, where he had his colon had burst and he had it reattached after a time, the detox would be dangerous for him. And so, if you're young and healthy, yeah, you can borrow your neighbor's medicine, but it's not advised. And treat, I'd say, the detox in a similar manner that I tell everyone, like, well, just tell me what you did. I'm like, no, go to Ayush Shakti, have an appointment, have them listen to you, and you tell them what's going on, and go from there.
Thank you. That answers my question. That helps.
All right. Anyone else have a question or coming up? This has been fun. I see why Clint does this. It's great visiting with all of you and sharing.
Michael, not a question, but I would agree with your fact that it's best to have a consultation. However, on the other side, I will also say that just kind of doing the mug diet or eating the mug diet, even let's say you do it once a week, can surely do no harm in the sense of helping your body and giving your body a break from everything else that we're digesting as well. And it's a bit like a fast, so your body gets a break as well.
I agree completely with that. Thank you, Savan. And yeah, talk to Ayush Shakti, and then going forward, I guarantee you I'll be having mung bean at least once a week. My bigger concern is if I'll ever stop doing the mung bean diet. I really like it. I mean, it's easy to have I have a picture of mung pancake batter in the fridge. I just throw those on. You can't burn them either. I mean, you can cook, I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm sure everyone here's burnt a pancake before. The mung beans don't burn, and they come out like crepes. You can, they're delicious. Susanna, do you want to unmute yourself?
Sure. Hello, everybody. So I just wanted to say, my appointment is tomorrow, and Anne's off the phone now, but she is the one that inspired me to buy the book because I saw her 180-degree change in her life within a very short period of time, and she was really healthy to begin with. And when I bought the book, I wrote the recipes down, and I did the mung bean soup for 30 days just by itself, along with the energy drink. And even though I did not lose weight because of other circumstances, which is fine, my energy got, and I have to say the pain in my body left. I have Epstein-Barr virus stage 4, and it affected my nerves and my thyroid. And so the long-term eating of the mung beans it's very beneficial for me. But the pain in my body receded and my energy returned. I mean, because at the Epstein-Barr virus, I would walk up 17 stairs and it would take me 4 days to recover. And I would be crying like a baby, balled up in a corner because I had no energy. So I just moved myself packed the boxes myself, loaded them, unloaded them. I haven't been able to do that since 2013. So it's huge for me. Huge transformation.
That's great.
Just doing the mung beans for 30 days. That's all I did.
That's
And then
great.
drink.
That
Yeah.
I sometimes don't like to tell people about the weight loss because that's like, oh, you need to lose weight. That's the least important thing that happens. That has
Well, the weight
I mean,
will come off. I'm okay with that. I wanted to feel like me again. Right? That
yeah.
was most important.
What happens on the inside of you is so much more important and healthy than the outside, but in my opinion. And the inflammation that goes away, the cholesterol that goes away, the blood pressure that comes down. I mean, how many people have gone up to someone and said, "Wow, you've got really good blood pressure." Or, "Wow, how about those cholesterol numbers?" I mean, that's not what we cosmetically look for in people, but we probably should. Well, thank you. Well, are there any more questions, or
Yep.
should we?
Yes.
Me?
Anyways, that's what I wanted to share. And one last thing. This is kind of important for me because I did not know this. I went to my local Indian store and bought all the herbs there and the spices and the mung beans, and was not aware that I could purchase organic, gluten-free Indian herbs and spices and mung beans online on Amazon.
Very
So
good
that's
point.
really important.
Yes,
'Cause
thank you for
yeah.
that. I've ordered a lot of things from Amazon. Puffed rice is the one I ordered from Amazon. Even it's crazy you order puffed rice from Amazon, but the spices. There's different spices, and even in Clint's book, different remedies that the spices can be easily obtained, very, very economically, very cheap from Amazon.
Mm-hmm. I'm not plugging Amazon. I just want people that have gluten issues understand that some of the Indian spices do have gluten in them, and I was not aware of it. I actually got a cough, and I stopped taking the spices, and I didn't do anything Indian for 3 days, and the cough went away. So I knew that there was some gluten in there, and and then I found out about the gluten Indian spices online. So just wanted to make that clear.
Well, thank you.
So thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. And why don't we have everyone do what has been done on other calls of unmute
Hey,
yourself.
Mike, I think Barbara has kind of a burning question. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
Hi, Mike. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. This is, I'm Barbara from Holland.
Oh, hello,
And
Barbara.
Hi. I heard you talking about the beetroots and the bell pepper in the mung bean soup.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you get that recipe from, the beetroots and the bell pepper? Because I have here the Dr. Naram's marvelous mung soup recipe.
Yes.
And in it, it's only mentioned the celery and the carrots.
That's right. When you were last coloring with your crayons, did you stay in the lines or go out of the lines?
Oh, are you like that? Then
Yes,
we go out of the box.
Yes, I made it up. I thought, what would be good in here? And this is important. This part, that I thought potatoes and sweet potatoes would be good, and so I put those in there, and I gained 5 pounds the next day. And I called Dr. Priyanka and I said, "Is it okay to put potatoes and sweet?" She said, "No, don't put the starches in the mung beans." I'm like, "Okay, well, how about?" She said, and she sent a list of vegetables that were okay, things like spinach, beetroots, the capsicum or bell peppers, and there's a few other things, but yeah. So I experimented a little bit in the wrong direction, but then she corrected me in the right direction, and I
put 3 beets. I just made it up, and the red beets. I tried golden beets. They're not quite as good as the red beets, in my opinion, but they're
That's right.
both
That's
healthy.
right.
And I was able to, it literally with the bell peppers, though, the red peppers and the beets, it's you're eating chili.
Yeah, and you cook it with the mung beans. You cook it directly with the mung beans.
Yes, and Clint's calling me just a moment, please, and I'll tell him we're still on the call talking about this. I might be in trouble. Hey, Clint.
Hey, am I interrupting anything?
Well, you're on speakerphone. I'm still on the call with everybody. We're just talking about like details of the what I did on the program.
Oh, that's so fun. Oh, that's good. Well, I just was, you can call me when you're done, but I'm literally boarding the plane right now and just thinking of you.
Safe travels from here.
You're getting wishes from the Netherlands and all over the world by calling right now. We're just about to end, and I'll give you a call back. I can hear him scanning tickets.
I can't wait to hear it. Make sure everyone emails me whatever is what came from their groups. I can't wait to customize.
Your email should be full.
Is Clint going back to India?
bye.
Is Clint going to India?
I've known Clint for 10 years, and I never ask him where he's going because
Okay.
it's never just one place. It's several.
Keep the mystery. Keep the mystery alive. Okay.
And often he doesn't know.
He goes with the flow.
I got it. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for everything.
Well, thank you, everybody.
That one small question.
Yeah.
Did you, or do you take that mung bean soup 3 times a day? You eat only mung bean soup?
Not always. Sometimes I have oatmeal in the breakfast. Call Ayush Shakti and get their program, and they'll show which days you eat mung bean, and then one day a week, you should only have vegetable soup, which is a butternut squash and onion that is so delicious. I sprinkle it with cinnamon. I put coconut flakes and some coriander or cilantro on it.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Sounds wonderful.
It's nice.
Okay.
Well, I will contact them, but I have no disease. I want to do it because of prevention.
That's a good reason too.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Michael, thank you
Bye.
so much. And
Thank
I'm so
you.
happy
Sending
for
love.
you that you have good results eating the mung beans like we all will have. And again, thank you so much.
I love you and I'm with you.
Arlene, did you
I
have
love you and
anything?
I'm with you.
Arlene, did you have something you wanted to share?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I love you and I'm with you.
I love you and
Love you and I'm with you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you. Arlene, did you have anything?
Arlene, maybe.
I'm sorry. I know you probably want to go. I don't want to hold you up. I'm sorry. Is it okay?
No, I thought Arlene.
I just have a question. I know I asked Dr. Giovanni this, but I'm a little confused. I wanted to get a pulse reading just to know what my pulse was, my dosha was. And I went to a integrated medical doctor. I'm not putting one against the other here. But I spoke about the ghee and the importance of the ghee and especially what Dr. Clint and Dr. Naram have shared. And she said, oh, no, not ghee. It will raise your cholesterol. And I was like, that's not what I was told. So I'm like, what now? So could we clear that up somehow?
I can only tell you my experience. I ate about
Yeah.
2 jars of ghee during the 30 days, and my cholesterol went from 265 to 136. I had the same concern, but in another Ayurvedic book I read that said that ghee is cows are very sacred in India, and the ghee will not raise your cholesterol. I have no idea of any scientific studies that have been done on ghee specifically. I'd love to see if there were some. But I can tell you with an N of 1, me, that I ate a lot of ghee. I was worried about it, but my results were wonderful.
So when you say you ate a lot of ghee, that was the ghee in the soup, right?
Ghee
Or
in the
did you eat
soup,
more than-
ghee in the pancakes,
you know, yeah. So I didn't eat it raw or anything or plain.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Just Sai, I wanted to add something like, I mean, who does keto diet, they eat a lot of fat, and that's the same results. The fat in the body go down. It's just like retraining the body to consume the fat.
Oh, I see. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And just wanted to know, like, what is the name of the institute that you say? Because I cannot get it. Do you mind to spell it in the chat?
It's Ayush Shakti. Whoops.
Yeah. So I just wanted to add in that the mung bean catches the fats in your intestine, and so it kind of, once it's bound, it kind of, you know, clears it out of the system, so it does not get resorbed back, which normally our body will resorb back fat in your intestine. After it's gone through the bile juices and it's in the intestine, it gets resorbed back, so your cholesterol goes up. But mung beans will catch that, and once it's caught to the mung bean, it doesn't get released back. And so that's why it kind of clears it out. And ghee is also detoxifier, so it kind of catches toxins. Cilantro is one of those also that catches toxins. And once it's kind of in that binding, it's a shellac binding, it does not release it back.
Thank you.
So that's how you kind of get rid of it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You're Rati.
Have a wonderful day, everybody, and bye.
Thank you, Michael.
So much. Thank